kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te ao Hākinakina, your sports show, right here on your Tribal Pulse, te Korimaka o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. He is the energy, the direction and the leadership our tamariki are searching for. He is passionate about the lives of our young ones and helps bring about impactful, positive change through his empowering rangatahi kaupapa. He is well known not only within the Jeff Speakman Kenpo 5.0 martial arts space, but also in the Rugby League space where he has previously represented New Zealand Māori, and we're honoured to have him here on our show with us. Welcome, Sensei Shane Wallacehoskin.
Tēnā koe ngāhina. How are you?
Good, brother. Hey, it's good to have you on our show. Really looking forward to our kōrero, but before we start, ko wai koe, no he koe, a bit about yourself and where you're from.
Kia ora. Ko Shane Wallacehoskin tōku ingoa. E uria hau no te tauheke maunga no koro Taranaki. Ko te awa o Oakura, ko Taranaki iwi, ko Taranaki te iwi, ko Ngāti Tairi te hapu, no Waitara te whānau ahau. Kia ora. Yeah, I'm Waitara born and bred, and yeah. Kia ora.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Waitara born and bred. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, so yeah, talking about Waitara, your upbringing in Waitara, what was it like given, you know, the sporting pedigree within the township and just the amazing, you know, kind of athletes and community members that have come out of Waitara?
Oh, yeah, obviously Rugby League was the sport for us growing up as kids. We always played with my older brothers and the local community kids. And also having the talent that was within Waitara for the Premier Rugby League team, going up and watching their games and watching players such as, you know, Stacey O'Carroll, the Nevins brothers. Yeah, it was really awesome to go up and watch them and one day hopefully be a part of that team.
Yeah, awesome. There's definitely some quality players come out of Waitara, all right. Have there been any other sports that you've played when you were younger or that you were involved with besides Rugby League and Kenpo?
No, it was just Rugby League and touch. Like touch was another big one that I got involved with quite a lot. Back then, we didn't really have age group representative touch. So at a young age, I was playing for the open mix when I was about 14, 15 years old. So yeah, so touch was it was a big one during obviously Rugby League.
Nice. Now, you're a pretty handy Rugby League player. You even got to represent your culture, New Zealand Māori. This must have been a pretty special moment for you and your whānau.
Yeah, it was massive. The year that we did make it for the Taranaki Wildcats, and I don't know if you remember that season we played that year. We were getting smashed by all the other Auckland teams, and yeah. So for me, getting beaten week in week out, sort of, you know, I was getting a bit, how can I say, I wasn't very positive about the season going forward. So yeah, getting announced in the squad for the New Zealand Māoris was a massive pick me up and something that I've always been working towards to get my photo on the wall with all the other representatives from Waitara.
Oh yeah, no, that awesome. It must have been a pretty special moment for the whānau. So you moved into Jeff Speakman's Kenpo, I think it's Kenpo 5.
5.0.
Yeah, 5.0. And like, how did you get into that? And what brought you to that? And what did you enjoy about it?
Yeah, so obviously Rugby League was like my number one sport, and I just moved back from Waikato with my whānau. When I made New Zealand Māoris, the coach that time was Tawara Nico, and he got me a spot up at the Waikawa Bay Stallions. So I moved up there for a year with the whānau, and the year after we moved back, I started and then blew my knee up against a team called Castlecliff down in Wanganui. So that took me out of Rugby League. I couldn't play anymore. So sort of looked for something else to do that had a bit of contact to it. So yeah, it was martial arts. But it was a funny way of getting into martial arts because my daughter at the time at Kura, and she was getting bullied. So that was the whole reason why we started martial arts, because obviously she was getting bullied, and I experienced that quite a lot growing up, being bullied myself. So yeah, so it was a no-brainer. I didn't want her to go through what I went through, so we started martial arts.
Awesome, awesome. And that's taken you on obviously a bit of a journey. You started your own dojo, I think, there for a bit, and now you run an amazingly successful Empowering Rangatahi kaupapa. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so it's obviously based around the bullying. So before COVID, we had a school, and we had just under 300 students that were attending the school. So I really wanted to give back to the community, because there were a lot of kids that would turn up with their families saying, "Oh, I want my kid to do martial arts because I've been bullied." So I thought, oh, what better way to do it than to offer a free bully-proof workshop in schools as a way of giving back. So I'll go around to schools and say, hey, I can offer this free workshop for the school just to spread some awareness about bullying. So that's sort of how that kaupapa started back then. Yeah, it was good. Some schools embraced it, which was really good, but there were some schools that were they were like, oh no, we don't have bullying at this school. I was like, oh, you sure? I've got about 30 kids that have just turned up from your school that said they've been bullied. So I'm sort of want to do this for free just to give back.
That's awesome. What an awesome kaupapa, and you can see the impact it's having on all of those tamariki. Now, you also recently released a book. Sensei Shane says, "Bullies, be aware." How amazing has this been, and has there been a lot of support for it? Yeah,
it's been awesome. It's been awesome, Caps. There's been lots of support with us, especially with whānau and businesses that have been sponsoring this puka puka and getting it into schools, and especially the schools that I'm not able to get into with my program. So yeah, it's good because I'm not in the schools. It's good having this resource for kids to be able to pick up and read and to understand what bullying is and how to deal with it.
That's really, really awesome. So what kind of advice, for those listeners at home, some tamariki might be listening into our show, but what kind of advice would you give some tamariki listening in who might be experiencing some kind of bullying at school or somewhere else?
Always talking to your parents, like always communicating with all adults that you trust is a big thing, because a lot of our tamariki, they tend to hold their emotions in and not communicate this. And yeah, that's something that's big for me, because growing up for myself, I didn't really have that support, when I was going through bullying, and I didn't realize it was happening to me, until I got older. I was like, damn, I was getting like bullied quite badly, and you try and communicate it, but you can't. So yeah, just for kids out there, just always talk to your parents and always talk to an adult that you trust, to let them know what you're going through, because they can help the situation.
Awesome. Great bit of advice there for our young tamariki, our listeners at home that might be tuning into the show. So what's next in terms of the kaupapa, and what's next on the horizon for Sensei Shane, and how can people get involved and engage with your amazing kaupapa?
Yeah, so I teach classes on a Monday and Wednesday in Fitzroy, and I teach another class out in Uranui, and that's for kids starting from 3 years old, and we go all the way up to adults. And the oldest student I've had was probably around 65, so there's no age limit to doing martial arts, which is really cool. During schools are starting to book out next year for my program. Not only do we focus on bullying, but we also focus on manners, making sure kids have manners, have good manners, and know what manners is. And another big part of the program is emotional regulation, is basically teaching kids how to control their emotions when they're going through situations at school. A lot of especially our Māori Pacific Islander kids, they just don't really have, I don't know, teachers struggle to be able to not deal with them, but get down to their level and know how to work with them like we did, because I was one of those little tohies at school. So so I can sort of understand. But yeah, it's just get in there and helping our rangatahi, basically. I've got support there, and that I'm here to help. That's
awesome. Well, there we have it, whānau. If any of our whānau at home want to get into some martial arts and get down and see Sensei Shane, there Mondays and Wednesdays, is that right? Mondays and
Wednesdays in Fitzroy, straight across the road from Beach Street Surf Shop. There's a hall there, the Beach Street Hall. So I teach from there, and I teach at the community centre in Uranui on a Friday at 3:30. So it's an amazing thing for kids. I think martial arts is another kaupapa like swimming. you know, learning to swim, because the confidence that kids get out of it is huge. And, you know, for myself, being able to watch kids grow in confidence from, you know, walking through the door the first time to achieving their first bout, you know, and carrying on, that's something that really gets me going, watching kids grow in confidence. Because, yeah, growing up for myself, I lacked in that confidence. So, yeah, being able to pass that on is, it's one of my passions.
That's awesome, and I can see their passion in you, bro, and the impact that it's having on our young ones is just amazing. Well, brother, it's been an absolute pleasure having the time to kōrero to you and hear the passion and the care that you have for our tamariki and our rangatahi. It's great to see the positive impact that you're having and your kaupapa is having on our communities and the lives of our young ones. We wish you and the kaupapa all the very best moving forward and look forward to seeing what's next on the horizon. So, ka mau te wehi e te rangatira.
Kia ora, Caps. Ngā mihi, brother.